What's going on? It's your boy CJ Goodfellow. We back with another video. Like I told you, we coming up with the Crawford and Dongo prediction video later on today, so be on the lookout for that. And shout out to Black Fight Fan TV, man. K Hove, man, had an excellent video that I had to piggyback off of. Talking about why Vasyl Lomachenko, won't be a star in America, and just going over a broad of promotional, mishaps or, with Bob Arum and a lot of mistakes he's making. And it is what it is. And let's start off. Will Vasyl Lomachenko be a star? In the United States or in the whole world of boxing? That's a very difficult question to even predict or answer. But it seems that that Bob Arum is trying to catch lightning in the bottle and trying to get another Manny Pacquiao. And like K Hove said from Black Fight Fan TV, y'all go check him out. I'll leave that original video in the link. But like he said, man, Manny Pacquiao was, it was catching lightning in the bottle. It was a blip. It was not a trend. Pacquiao became a star in America was not by design. It was pretty much a mistake. And the difference between, Lomachenko and Pacquiao on the route to becoming a star was Pacquiao did something that was unusual by moving up all those weight classes for one. So that was a selling point. Also, he was a very explosive, exciting fighter. Very fast, very quick, carry power to several weight classes. That too, not saying that Lomachenko isn't as talented as Pacquiao was, but Pacquiao had a lot of raw ability and he had a lot of power moving up. And Lomachenko doesn't have that knockout S type power that Manny Pacquiao had. And also Pacquiao had the right opponents in front of him. He was able to build his star status off of beating the shit out of Mexicans. He lost Eric Morales, then I believe he beat him twice, beat Barrera. He had excellent marquee opponents to help cannonball him into superstardom. And he was an underdog. He came from the bottom. He represented a country that had, that had his back. They would show up to the fights in America. And he had HBO's backing, And all Bob Arum had to do was not fuck up the shit with Manny Pacquiao. He was a budding star. And with Lomachenko, he doesn't seem to have those same, paths that Pacquiao had. There's no Morales, there's no Barrera. Closest thing to it isn't Mikey Garcia, but he seems to don't want to fight Mikey Garcia right now. He's going to let Mikey Garcia at least move up to 140 before he thinks about fighting him, and that's going to make it a little bit more troubling for him to beat Mikey Garcia. And still, Mikey Garcia is not even in the same breath as a skills fighter or as a popularity in a fighter as Morales and Barrera was, and also Pacquiao was able to move up, fight Cotto. He did so fucking much, and he was an underdog. It was just, he did something that, no other fighter will be able to do. His rise to fame and success was based on a lot of different things I just named. And Lomachenko, I don't see him having that same path rolled out for him. You could put him on ESPN all you want to, but one thing that's the issue is he doesn't speak English, and a lot of guys who don't speak English are not stars in America. People think Canelo is a big star amongst American fans. He's definitely not. He's a star amongst Mexican, and it's a nice large population of Mexican fans in the United States, and plus Mexico is so close to the United States as well, so they don't have no problem traveling to Texas or Vegas to see him fight. That's why you don't see Canelo Alvarez go east. He don't fight east. He always fight on that west, and that southwest. He don't fight east. Because more east is more of a Latino population as far as the Puerto Ricans go, and then if you go south to Florida, then you got the Haitians and all that different types. So he don't even fight there, and it's hard to sell somebody that don't speak English. Pretty much, it's hard to sell any boxer that doesn't have a personality. If most boxers that don't have a personality, like K Hove said, has a trainer who speaks for him and has that personality. Look at Danny Garcia. Don't say much. Pretty much mundane type of guy. But Angel Garcia gets it popping. He keeps the juices flowing. Gennady Golovkin, even though he's not a big star in America, he has an opportunity to really stir up the boxing world by beating Canelo Alvarez, which a lot of people think he's the favorite, and Vegas thinks he's the favorite. Also, Abel Sanchez usually speaks for him and puts shit out there, and people hate him sometimes, and people love him for what he says sometimes, and sometimes Abel Sanchez does contradict himself, but he keeps Gennady Golovkin names relevant because Golovkin can't speak English, and it's hard to become a star in America when you don't speak English, and I think that's a very key point. Pacquiao speaks a little bit of English, but not good enough to go back and forth with anybody and talk that shit. Freddie Roach is pretty much the voice of Pacquiao as well. So, it's always a front man and a showman that get it popping with Lomachenko. I don't know if his dad speaks English. I guess his showman would be his manager, who tends to keep putting his foot in his mouth, Klimov. But you know what it is. I don't know how far he can move up in weight, to be honest. Maybe that could be another precedent they can play off of. Oh, he's going for his fourth weight title, 126, 130, 135, 140, and perhaps he can move to 147, maybe a stretch in the imagination. But it seems like Bob Arum is putting a lot of promotion and money into Vasyl Lomachenko, similar to what he did with trying to, showcase Zeus Shimon with Manny Pacquiao over there in Asia, and it didn't work for Manny Pacquiao. The pay-per-view numbers, the TV rate numbers in America was shit after that, and I guess the numbers didn't equate up in Asia when he was fighting over there. So they pulled him from over there, and now they take him to Australia and all that type of other shit. And I think he's making a big mistake by pouring all his money into Vasyl Lomachenko in America, especially putting him against in showcase bouts. He needs to be fighting in, classic 50-50 fights, where it's hard to get those classic 50-50 fights when the competition, you don't like to work with the competition. Gervonta Tank Davis, they could build that fight up. It's probably not going to happen. They also can build the Guillermo Digendal fight up a little bit. Both being two-time gold medalists, but they don't want to really work with the competition. They want to stay in-house. And in-house is really killing Top Rank. And by Lomachenko not having that competition that Pacquiao had, and I think he was a Golden Boy at the time, being able to fight all those classic, fights with Barrera and Morales, I believe. Lomachenko doesn't have that gateway, And it seems like, Bob Arum is pretty much wasting money with Vasyl Lomachenko, and when he has Terence Crawford, when he can promote him as well. But they say it's hard, in this video, they say it's hard to really promote a black fighter in America, because I remember, watching the James Brown movie, they said, well, blacks don't buy records, and basically the correlation I'm making is blacks don't support their own, most of the people that pay for watch Floyd Mayweather, it's Mexicans, and that's why they choose to fight Mexicans and not fight another black fighter from America. It's the simple fact that it doesn't sell. He has to have somebody that can sell to do good numbers. And with Terence Crawford, maybe that's the route, Bob Arum is going. I haven't seen one promo for Terence Crawford or Julius Ndongo this weekend for their fight on ESPN, and I probably, my TV religiously stays on ESPN. I haven't seen one promo. The week, like the couple days before the fight week of Lomachenko and Moraga, and the week of, I seen a lot of promos running for that fight, and it seems like Bob Arum wants to pour the money in Lomachenko, but the money he pouring in Lomachenko is not going to work in America. He should take Lomachenko over there to Europe and do a European tour, have him fight over there exclusively for a minute, build his name, and try to get some opponents over here. If he's not willing to work with the other promoters for Lomachenko, and that's where the key fights are at for Lomachenko. But he seems don't want to really pour a lot of money into Terence Crawford. And that's the same mistake he made with Floyd Mayweather. He didn't want to promote Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather won big billboards around Vegas. Him and Bob Arum would clash all the time. Bob Arum said it's not going to make you sell. And he always felt that Bob Arum wasn't promoting him right. He wanted him to be this nice, mannerable guy. And, just like Tiger Woods, personified being a nice guy. But he was a bad boy. And Mayweather, it was a bad boy outside the ring. He was tired of putting up that fake facade of being his goody two-shoes. He broke off from Bob Arum, and he did his thing. And it seems like they don't want to promote Terence Crawford or put any money into promoting Terence Crawford. They always pushing Lomachenko as this next thing. Bob Arum say some nice things about Crawford, but they're not properly promoting Crawford. They're not. And he's not going to properly be promoted if he move to 147. He's not going to be allowed to fight Keith Thurman. He's not going to be allowed to fight Earl Spence. He's not going to be allowed to make those classic fights. And I predict he's going to be the one that's going to enter a long litigation and probably take a long layoff and try to disband away from Top Rank at some point in time when he learns that he's not going to be allowed to play with the other kids in PBC and the other promoters, Eddie Hearn and all the other things. I think he's going to go through a long litigation. I think he's going to get with Al Heyman or somebody that can break him off from Bob Arum, which is the only guy's Al Heyman, who I think secretly got Mikey Garcia out and got Floyd Mayweather out of that contract. And I think that's what's going to happen. They're pouring all the money into Lomachenko, in my opinion, when, they could be pouring some money into Crawford, who's a hometown American that people will love to see and love to fight.